I'd like to call the meeting to order. Almighty God, you have blessed us with memory, origins, and skill. Help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing will be the public forum. I assume that you have a spokesperson maybe, or one person that's going to address the board. I know the union wants to address the board.
Yeah, just here as, I don't know if you guys, I don't know most of you, there's new faces, but I'm a town employee, also a taxpayer. And we're here to try.
Excuse me, you don't know most of the board?
No.
Okay, I'll introduce them to you if I would.
Okay.
Brian Moore, he's been with us several years. Rick Hunter.
Yeah.
Been with us 4 or 5 years, maybe, Rick, I don't know how long.
A little over 2.
Over 2, okay. Jason is probably the newest board member, I believe.
Correct.
Jason Bory.
Nice to meet you.
And Clark Herdick.
No, we're, obviously a town employee, and there's, we discussed some things the other day, and we're trying to, look at, there's ways of saving money as far as to make up the difference for pay raise. Because when we hit this spot every time, it always becomes just about a wash because, as our pay rate goes up, our insurance goes up. And we're asking for, I believe that we can definitely save the town that by picking up the mowing for the cemeteries and all that, and do that with the town time. As far as that goes, so I don't believe it's it'd be a waste. It'll be an in-house service. There was a time, yes, we could not be able to, I don't believe, could take care of all the mowing before, but we have newer equipment, bigger equipment. We're getting stuff done relatively a lot better than what it used to be, and I do believe we can find the time to handle that and come up with terms. I mean, I can't, discuss the percentage or anything here, of course, but it was just a suggestion of a way we can do it, because as Mr. Barcombe mentioned the other day, he's worried about what people say when he tells them how much we make, and it's all becomes, stuff goes up all the time. There's inflation, we all know this, we see it every day. So we're asking to get it taken, extra money, we're trying to save other places to be able to get it. That's like when we have our negotiations, I mean, we get an attorney in here, I mean, that costs. Why can't we just come to a settlement beforehand for the money we can save on lawn mowing and for having an attorney here? I mean, it's all taxpayers' dollars. It would be, we would have had a wash. We would have got what we were asking for, and I think we can definitely save it in those ways. And I don't believe we need an attorney every time for negotiations. I think it's just a waste of money. I mean, you're spending money to try saving, and there's not a, I just don't see the point in it, because it's still being spent. So, I mean, that's what we're here kind of asking for, to see it from both sides, and what people see that we do. I mean, winter times, I don't know how many times you sit down with your family for supper. I mean, you get the call, you're gonna go, and I know that's part of the job, but in the meantime, there's, it's a lot of thing in the winter time. It's definitely, something to consider of, you lose out on a lot of stuff. I just feel, we all sat and talked about it, and on behalf of it, and trying to figure out a way to make it work, but not cost the town a whole lot of money in the process. I wish Mr. Racine was here so he could vouch, that, and I'm pretty sure he can agree that now, since we're more efficient, I believe that we can take over them things and saving them factors. I mean, if you put the pencil to it on what you save on mowing the cemeteries that were, you know, costed separately than being on our town time wages, you know, that's a big factor in what we're kinda asking for, and the money that's used on the attorney, which I think was, you know, we would have been where we had to be, with that term, so I just don't see why, you know, that's what it is. So, I mean, that's what we're asking for. We're hoping we can, you know, make it where it's not gonna cost more, but at the same time save it in other places where it can all work out and we all get along and it all benefits everybody. I don't know what, your thoughts on what we're missing out on, but.
I know in the winter months, we are, I mean, the summer's not as busy for us, you know. In the winter months, we are pretty much devoted here. We all are. If it wasn't for us, you know, the roads wouldn't get cleared. I've had multiple holidays where I've had to leave early and, you know, we get a phone call and we're here in you know, within 15, 20 minutes and to get our work done.
You know, and you guys say, I mean, Mr. Racine gets, you know, a lot of good compliments on it, so I mean, we're kinda like the backbone of it as well, you know, we get it done. We haven't had any accidents. I think we have a pretty good crowd to work with. So I think it's, you know, it's not like it's, you know, we're having always issues where it's costing. We're all pretty efficient here, we're all got a little bit of mechanical capabilities of getting stuff done. So I mean, it's all saves in the long run. I mean, like we're having failures all the time or people out on leave, it's all pretty good in that part. But at the same time, we'd like to see something that's a little different than always trying to make it a wash, you know. We go up here, we lose here, and it's just not getting ahead of it, you know. It's pennies of what it works out to be. And that's where we're at with that. So instead of just asking for it, I mean, we're trying to save it in other spots. You know, we understand that, you know, times they're all getting rough, it's all rough for everybody. I mean, it's a vicious cycle with all the COVID and everything going on, and, you know, and the cost of living is not getting any better. That's for sure. And I'm sure we're all gonna feel the wicked impact from this in time, so that's just you know, a thought process we could do and think about, you know, instead of putting money out for the mowing or attorneys to negotiate it, because I know that's a big deal. And, you know, as far as you guys worried about what the public is on it, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't wanna get up all hours of the night and do what we do. I mean, they're getting up in the morning and clean roads and they're getting to work, and it's not like it'll affect the taxpayers, I don't believe, if we can save it in other places. That's the biggest thing. So I don't know how you guys feel on that, but I just wanna get it out there, and, you know, the public should know on what we're dealing with. And so, for me, it's, you know, you guys all wanna put pencil to it later on and come up with the statistics of it, and that's whereabouts we feel. I mean, in the wintertime, it does take a lot from us from anything, which is not a big deal. It's what we signed up for, but at the same time, you know, it'd be nice to climb the ladder a little more without losing in other spots. I mean, every time we take a small percentage, we don't, I mean, it's not hardly anything when you get to it, you know.
Anyone else? We thank you for stopping in. If you wish, you can stay for the rest of the meeting, or you okay?
Okay.
Is there anyone else? I'll ask again. Okay. I need to approve the minutes of our last meeting, which is September 8th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Any concerns or questions? questions on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Town clerk monthly report. We need to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the town clerk's report September 1st through September 30th.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns about the town clerk's monthly report? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. Do you have your planning and zoning board minutes? Please do read them. It does tell you what's going on around town. They are a separate board. Their minutes are approved at their following meetings also. Just for information only. You have your JCO monthly report for September. Quite a bit of activity. We thank them for that. That's strictly for information.
Just a question about that, I noticed that the reports haven't been coming in, I don't think they haven't been open, right, because of COVID?
Right.
Yeah.
If they are, they were on short hours with appointments only, I believe.
Mhm.
Okay. We need to schedule a public hearing for next month for local law to exceed the tax cap if we need to. We do this every year. We're working on a budget. We're not sure we can stay within the tax cap, but we need to do this in case we exceed the tax cap. And the next month, the meeting will be also approving the budget. It has to be approved by November 15th. So we always approve it in our first meeting in November. So I'd like to schedule a public meeting, or a public hearing, I should say. November 10th looks like is our meeting. We can schedule that for first thing at the meeting, board meeting. Okay? Is that all right? I should have a motion on that, I believe.
Make a motion to schedule a public hearing on November 10th, prior to our board meeting, to discuss any objections to
Local law.
local law for the tax cap.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Superintendent of Highway report. I don't have a lot to report other than that they're done hauling their sand for the winter months. Just finished that a week, 10 days ago, I believe, or last week even. That went fairly well. That's all done. Sarah left me a list here. I can't find it.
Ms. White, here, the paving looks great, everything looks really, it's a great job.
Thank you.
Right?
Several compliments from people in the town that said, make sure to let them know that really, really good work, so, thank you.
Thank you.
And the paving came within budget, really well, for like nothing of the year, which is always good. Couple things we need to mention. This year, the voting for general election in November will be only here at the town offices. There will not be any voting in Ross's Point. Okay? Those cards have been sent out, a lot of people don't read it. I'm sure election day, people are going to Ross's Point to vote. All voting is here, okay? The public knows that.
And there's early voting at the county for the 2 weeks preceding the election.
October 24th through November 1st. That's what Sarah's got written down for me, okay? You can go right to the county office and vote.
Yes,
County Board of Elections,
yes.
okay?
And there have been also some changes with mail-in ballots as well.
Yes.
Those can be hand-delivered they've changed some of the rules for this particular election to make sure that people can get their ballots counted, so. I used to say if anybody has any questions, they should be contacting either the town office here, or they should be calling the Board of
The
Elections.
Board of Elections.
They have the best
Yeah,
answers,
because,
that's right,
yeah,
they know all, they know all the ins and the outs, yeah.
They're the ones who made the rules and changed the rules.
Okay. Just a couple other things here. We need to transfer some money to pay a bill that we owe for construction on a water project that we have not received from the EFC, the funding agency in Albany. We're thinking we can get it this week, we're not sure. I'd like a motion to move $142,975 from the highway to the general fund so we can pay that bill. And that, as soon as the money comes in, we have to replace it, okay? So it's a wash. But I do need to move it from the savings account, DD savings, that's the highway savings account, okay? So I'd like a motion to approve the transfer of $142,975 for the West Service Road project to T&T Leasing.
I'll make a motion that we approve the transfer or borrowing of funds, the amount of $142,975 to pay the water bill.
Construction project, town of water bill.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second for that?
I second that.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's also carried. I have a letter I'd like to read from Mike Tatro, our code enforcement officer. After nearly 20 years as the town code enforcement officer, my time is coming to an end. It has been an exceptional experience and it will carry me forward. As I mentioned above, I wish to inform the town of my impending retirement effective on or about April 1st, 2021. I look forward to working with my successor and ensure a smooth transfer. Okay? Mike Tatro. I would like a motion to accept his letter of resignation.
I make a motion that we accept Mike Teacher's resignation letter.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions,
I
concerns?
want to thank him for his many years of service to the town of Champlain.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, I also would like a motion to approve our new code enforcement officer, Dan Stone, take Mickey's position the 1st of January, 2021, pending certification, training, and civil service test. Okay? They will be overlapping for about 3 months, January, February, and March, to give the new person some on-the-job training with an experienced person. I'd like a motion to approve Dan Stone, pending certification, training, and civil service test.
I'll make a motion that we approve the appointment of Dan Stone as the new code enforcement officer, pending his certification.
Okay, thank you,
I'll second that.
thank you. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried.
Larry?
Yes?
You said there'd be an overlap of about
3 months.
3 or 4 months?
That's what we felt would be sufficient to train the new person.
Right. That's good.
The town offices will be closed on election day due to consolidation of polling places and the distance that we need to keep away from each other, let's put it that way. That's strictly for information. The sand pit that we advertised last month, this is the old sand pit that's no longer used. We put the request for bids and we got it done. So I don't know where we're gonna go with that, okay? We'll have to discuss that in the future. We need to discuss some additional ADUs. I've got 4 of them. I got one on the Ridge Road, property ID number 48-1-8. It's a piece of property a single piece of property with two dwellings on it with two different meters. And they've only been paying one, they got biased, they should be paying two. I have a very similar situation on Elm Street. One parcel with two dwellings, 2 meters, they've only been paying one, they need to go to two. It's the same as the one on Ridge Road. Tractor Supply is a new hookup that just hooked up in the past month or so here. My recommendation would be, my recommendation comes upon the size of the building and the number of employees, okay? I think we should charge 4 for that, to be equal to some of the other industrial or commercial places. We can take a look at that after 6 months or a year, depending on their usage. Okay, but we need to assign something to them now. Then we also have one, the UPS building. They're in our water district. They are not in our sewer district. The water is supplied through the town line. The sewer goes out the back of the building into the village. They have nothing to do with the sewer. That's got by us, and we compared that with some other warehouses of similar sizes and employees, and we think that should be either 4 or 5. So, and there again, we know their usage, okay? That one, we got a history of their usage. Anybody got any concerns about any of those, or?
I have make a comment about this.
Yes.
We have 4 different properties to look at. I think first 2 are pretty straightforward, go from 1 to 2, it makes sense. But I really think that if we're looking at these 2 other facilities, we need to look at other comparable buildings and do some type of comparison. And I think the best way to do that is to follow the agreement that was struck when we negotiated a contract with the village, and right in there, there's very clear language that each municipality will have their own EDU board. Now, I can't recall the exact language, but that's in there. And who makes up this board, I don't know. I think it should include the code enforcement officer, just for general discussion. But I think that rather than us just sit here and say, what do you think? I think we need to have
Well,
some real clear, deep.
I did discuss this with Mickey Tetro. The UPS building, we compared it to another large warehouse. We think it's similar in size and employees. You'll never get any that are exact. It's very hard to tell how many employees working in the building right now, because a lot of people are working from home. Okay, you go count the cars in the yard, they ain't gonna need much today. A lot of people are not working in the building, okay? Tractor Supply, we went by this square footage of the building, and we know the approximate number of employees, and the vast number of their employees are part-timers, I'll tell you that.
I move, in order to speed this up, that we accept Nikki's recommendations and go with those. We can always adjust them if they're.
Is this his recommendation?
He is,
From what point from 1 to 2, and 2 of them, Tractor Supply 4, the UPS building, what's going on there? Is it a recommendation?
we got biased, we never charged them an EDO. Because at one time, the water came through the village at one time, I believe. There were outside users, and there can be no more outside users on the contracts. Okay,
What is the recommendation for the UPS building?
I discussed it with Mickey. Oh, I just said
Is it
4 or 5.
4
That's
or
my
5?
recommendation, after discussing it with Mickey and comparing it to other warehouses of similar size.
So strictly off the square footage, or is it off the number of employees also?
It's a combination if you talk to the engineers.
Okay.
It's hard, it's like the assessing, you can't go in the building and, you know, check on how many employees they have and how many bathrooms they have and why they use so much water. It's, they don't have to let you in. I mean, they just tell you what they want you to know.
The UPS building, we already know the usage, and it's quite high.
It's very high, yeah. For whatever reason, you know, they left the toilet running, I don't know, but it's they're one of our top 5 customers.
So
Yeah.
can we start UPS at 4 and then, actually track them for a quarter, see where they are, and then decide where we
Yes,
want
we
to
can
go?
do that. We probably should take these separate.
I would.
The UPS one first, maybe, it's on the top of the list.
Do you have a tax map for the Elm Street address?
Julie would have it. Julie, would it be on your water report tonight?
First one you said on the Ridge Road was 49-1-1-8, correct?
Which is 48. It looks like that.
Yeah.
1 dash 8.
Okay.
The tax map numbers aren't on this
They're not on that.
report, no.
Okay. That one is on the Ridge Road. The other one was similar circumstances is on, that's 19.7-3-8, that's on Elm Street. Them are similar, maybe we could take them two together.
I would do them separate just because they're,
Which one do you want to go first?
So let's take the Ridge Road.
Okay?
I make a motion that we move the number of EDUs for the Ridge Road from 1 EDU to 2 EDUs.
Should we state why? Because there's 2 residents on 1 parcel.
Correct.
Well, so how are you gonna do that? You're gonna bill the one person 2, or you're gonna charge each individual 1? So if you're gonna do it each individual 1, you gotta just add that one up, put it to 2. Cause they get billed separate bills for water.
But
There's 2 separate bills for water,
Okay,
but only one customer gets billed EDU, the other one doesn't.
I understand.
So wouldn't you just add the 1 EDU to the other customer?
But we have
Is
no
it a
way,
rental?
yeah, we have no way
Is it
of
a
collecting
rental?
because if they aren't the
No, it's a
parcel
father and
owner.
son.
In other words, you have your house on lot and you put up an apartment over the garage and send it to a separate water meter. If those people don't pay, you have no recourse. You
Goes to the
you
I
land.
don't
think it's
own
gotta
the
go to the
land.
landowner, correct?
Yeah, it's,
The landowner gets the EDU.
Correct.
right.
Yeah, it'd have to go to,
So it's gonna go to the land owner.
yes.
Well, but there's no
We
other
can't-
choice. That's
We
the
can't
only
really
reason.
levy a,
It's just-
Correct.
They don't give us a choice.
should that motion state, or Rick,
That is for 2 dwellings. Correct.
Thank you. Ridge Road 48.1-1-8. You have a motion, that was a motion, I think, Rick,
That was the motion.
and do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. We'll do the one on Elm Street next, that's 19.17-3-8. Same scenario.
I make a motion that we increase the number of EDUs to the Elm Street residents tax map 19.17-3-8 to 2 EDUs because there are 2 dwellings on this particular property.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Let's go with the Tractor Supply. Should we have a motion stated after a certain period of time, 6 months, a year, to reevaluate it?
Well, we should in a year at the most, I mean,
Well, the bill that's gonna be going out right soon here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's only for a
Gotta
few
start with
days, it's not
something.
even a quarterly bill,
Right.
okay? I would think 6 months to a year, or 4 billings or something, you know?
And what would be the criteria for changing it, if we did change it? Usage? I'm told that's not one of the,
You can't use the water usage,
No.
it's gotta be based upon usually square footage, number of employees, number of restrooms that you have in the building.
Services provided,
So-
fire hydrants, and the sprinkler system, you know, the things that you have to be able to supply that, where
Right.
a dwelling, generally speaking, doesn't have to put in additional infrastructure.
so what would be the criteria for going back after several months and changing it?
Well, I can't see there would ever be less than 4, because I can think of a vacant, well, it was vacant, a building that's got 4 on it, that we discussed before, and it's just starting to be used again. I understand it's storage mostly, and that has 4 on it. That was 6 at one time, and it was shut down, and reused, down to 4. And, anyway, there's little or no, I don't think there's any usage there on that one. But just because somebody doesn't use it, it's there, it's available to them, they gotta pay for the line. No, I will entertain any thoughts on Tractor Supply other than 4.
I guess my only question would be is what is the comparable property that was used to determine the setting of 4 EDUs by, in the discussion with Nikki?
The size of the building was 1?
No, what other comparable properties actually
Oh,
have this?
okay. That's a good question
I think
too.
you said he
That's a 20,000 square foot building,
Dollar General.
it was more than twice the size of Dollar General.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yes, and they're 1.5.
Okay,
That brings them to 3, but they're even larger yet, so that's why I came up with the 4.
Yeah, and plus Tractor Supply.
In both of those buildings.
right, well, it's got a lot of people from the outside coming in. that-
Yeah, and
Right.
they have a dog wash station there also.
Yes.
Pet dog, you know, if anybody's interested, Tractor Supply has a dog wash station there. Or cat, whichever. So, you know, they're gonna be using water for, extra water for that, but Dollar General, so.
Right, yes, makes sense. What's everybody else's thoughts on it?
I can only say what I said earlier, I feel that we need to have a procedure that's, there's an established group, just like you have a water board group that looks at this stuff. And they look at all the criteria. And who's in that group, I have no idea. It could be a board member, in addition to the code enforcement officer. It could be somebody from the water board, but a group that sits down and looks at all the rationale for this and makes a recommendation to us. And we're moving into a situation where our code enforcement officer, who I think is probably a leading voice in this,
Right.
is resigning.
Correct. Yeah.
And come next spring, we have to go through this again. There should be an established group that does this. So we're not kind of wandering around and flipping a coin, say, well, how does this place compare with that place? And we don't even know what the other place is inside. I think we're leaving ourselves open to more criticism if we kind of look like we don't have very set guidelines to follow. So I'm not opposed to anything we're doing right now, but I think looking to the future, we better have something in place.
Well, that's part of what's going on tonight, is we're revising, looking at things and revising them as the need arises. And, you know, we can make it more established, certainly, but in the interim, this is a new business, and we need to start somewhere.
Yep.
And I think based on what Nikki had said about Dollar General, this seems pretty fair.
You were following the code, right? You said square footage and number of employees, and that
Correct.
is in the
Yeah.
code, so.
So that's all we have right now in the code, so,
That's what we have to go by.
so. And 4 EDUs it is. Can I make a motion that with Tractor Supply that we set the number of EDUs to 4.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. The last one is UPS. There again, I was going by similar sized building, similar business. Okay, that's what I was using. I believe they're paying 5, ain't they, Julie? You know, the Andrews?
I don't know offhand, no.
We thought this was a shade smaller, we weren't sure. It's like somebody mentioned, they're not gonna tell you how many bathrooms they got in there, how many employees they got.
Right.
Okay.
When's the next EDU report go out?
In a few weeks.
For the first of the year.
Can we kind of table this one and actually maybe do some research on this one first, Larry, before we
I have no problem.
kind of set that number of
Okay.
EDUs at 4 or 5? I prefer it be more accurate, so.
Okay, I'll just entertain a motion to table this particular one as property number 18.19-4-1. It's the UPS building. Have a motion to table it for a month.
I'll second that.
It can't be a month,
No, it can't be a month,
but
I'd
the
like
billing's going out in 4 months.
right,
How are we gonna do it?
so,
You have to have a special meeting or a phone call.
right, and I think we can do that.
Okay. I had a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried, thank you. That's all I have on that list. You need to approve your pre-billing reports.
Yeah, these are the water bills that are going out tomorrow.
This is the here, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah. These are, I call them pre-billing, is that what it is?
yeah.
Yeah. If you read this over, I just got this evening from Julie. You all got a copy of it. You'll see like the big warehouses, their usage and stuff like.
Yep.
Okay. So we need to approve this. Do I need a motion?
There's no changes or anything. It's the same as it was last time.
Yeah, it's the same. Well, I mean, it's
Well, what-
same customers and everything, the usage could be different, but
Right, total number of accounts, so is the same.
yes.
Yep, okay, so I make a motion that we approve this utility detailed billing register active as of 10/13/2020.
I'll second that.
Any questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Bill report. What else you have for us, Julie?
You got the dog reports.
I did see that somewhere, but she didn't leave it with me.
Yeah, you can have my.
No, that's fine, I read it today. Some of the same names are on there from month to month sometimes, I read. Dog's still barking. You have anything additional?
Just the bill.
You got your billing report, we need to approve the bills at the evening?
Just one addition, max entry for $75 is to repair to the door.
Okay, you had trouble with the front door locking properly? Okay. Any questions, on any of the bills?
I'll make a motion that we approve the bills.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
And thank you. Any questions, on any of them? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. Travis? Okay, go ahead.
Water District number 6 disbursement, approval number 61 for Todd Deal for $85,443.
motion?
I'll make a motion to approve
What number is it?
the water,
61.
bill number 61 for Todd Deal for the water project on D-line,
Okay,
on West Service Road.
I'll second that.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we gotta sign now, we gotta sign now.
Yep.
Okay. We did group one, we got that.
Yeah.
Okay. I have nothing else other than executive session. I got several things, an employee, a history of an employee in the union contract. Can I have a motion for executive session, please?
I'll make a motion that we move into executive session.
I'll second that.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried, thank you. We thank you all for coming.